What's happening? It's Renee. So I wanted to make a 7-star ranking for Naruto Blazing PvE, and the reason why I'm not doing PvP is simply because I have not used all of the 7 stars effectively in PvP, so I don't feel like I have the right to be able to sit here and say that this character is good and this character is not, and vice versa and stuff like that. So today I'm just going to be specific. I can't speak. I'm going to be specifically talking about PvE in terms of the 7 stars in Naruto Blazing. So for the first and second best 7 stars in the game, I think that Sasuke, 4th anniversary Sasuke is the best, and 4th anniversary Naruto is the second best. Now, to explain why I think Sasuke is the best 7 star in the game, I need to talk about Naruto, the runner-up, first. Now, here's his stats. Now, this character is absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Don't get me wrong. I mean, his abilities are amazing. Reduced damage by 35%. Reduced damage taken by 35% again, so 70% damage reduction. He heals 800 every single turn with one ability. He can't be jutsu sealed. He has immobilization resistance, unfortunately. I think that's kind of odd, especially for a 7-star unit, how he has resistance and not complete nullification of immobilization. And you have nullifies damage reduction effects for his last ability. So really solid abilities. When you go to his jutsus, you have 6.5 times attack towards all enemy range, and you get some health. His secret technique gives you pretty much just chakra back. Other than that, I mean, he ignores substitution, which is great, but that's really all it does. Besides damage, he gives you back chakra, and then his latent skill is pretty cool. Makes it so that you can't be hit by combination attacks, follow-up attacks, counters for 6 turns, and then if your health is below 50% or 50% exactly, you get 90% attack weaken resistance for 6 turns. Now, if you've seen Shiny's video when he's talking about this doesn't really make sense, the 90% attack weaken resistance, since he pretty much gets rid of attack weaken with his first jutsu. So this is really pointless in my opinion. But anyway, again, he's a really solid unit, and in terms of the 7 stars in the game, I think he earns the 7th spot. And I've heard people talk about, oh, if you're a new player, you want to summon for Naruto. And then to me, I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, yes and no. I would say yes to summoning for Naruto if you're a new player, just because of his healing. Because he does heal with his first jutsu. And healing, of course, is great. And if you're a new player, that will help you tremendously in beating new raids. But here's the problem. Here's the problem. If you're a new player, or you're re-rolling, right? Guess what? During this anniversary, you can only get enough stones, or shards, I should say, to get 1 acquisition stone, or ability stone. Which means if you put it into Naruto, this is all you're getting. Reduced damage by 35%. If you have Sasuke, and you put that 1 dupe into him, well, guess what? All you get is ignore substitution. That's where the problem comes in with these 7-star units. Without abilities, they aren't anything to write home about at all. I think that 2nd year anniversary Naruto and Sasuke are better than these 7-star Naruto and Sasuke with no dupes. With absolute no dupes, I think the 2-year anniversary units are better. What really makes or breaks these 2 units is having them maxed out. It is night and day, just how crazy powerful they become. But you have to have them max duped. When you're a new player, you know, especially how they have Ninja Road now, it's going to be hard for you to get those free stones from Ninja Road, right? And if you can only get 1 ability stone from the anniversary, these first abilities aren't going to help you that much. They really aren't. So it's really iffy. But if you're thinking on the long term, if you should summon for Naruto or Sasuke, I think Sasuke. 100%, I think you should go for Sasuke instead of Naruto. Okay, he doesn't heal, but what makes Sasuke so great, and I'm going to go into Sasuke now and why I picked him as the first, is because, in my opinion, now I'm not putting bias into this tier list, but in my opinion as a whole, for the unit itself, I think this is the best well-made unit that Blazing has ever had. Just because everything about his kit surges well with each other. So let's go into his abilities first. You have Ignore Substitution, amazing. Chakra Recovery when receiving direct attacks, 20% chance of restoring. Then you have Completely Nullify Mobilization. Now here's the juicy part, right? 2-in-1, reduce damage by 35% and dodging for 35% 2 times. And then also combination attack. Now, I was one of the rare people during second anniversary that when Final Valley Sasuke, the body one, got this ability, you know, I wasn't like, oh, that's a trash ability. No, I looked at the character as a whole and I said, what are some people talking about? This ability is amazing. The amount of damage that he deals with these combination attacks are insane. So I'm really happy that they gave him this ability. Now let's go into his jutsus, and then I'll talk about why all of these synergize with each other. So his first jutsu is 6 times attack towards all enemies. Now if you noticed, he doesn't do as much damage on his first jutsu as Naruto. However, unlike Naruto, you get extra effects. You have an 85% chance for slip damage for 10 turns and or immobilization for 2 turns. For his secret technique, it changes the element of that character to wisdom for 3 turns and removes attack boost. Now, that removes attack boost is really situational, so it's nice to have, but it's not really the main purpose, of course. And then you have his latent skill, and now he has 13 times attack towards all enemy on screen. The enemy receives increased damage to their non-effective elemental affinities by 30% for 6 turns. And then if your health is below 30% or 30%, gives you an attack boost of 100% for 1 turn before performing the above attack, which is really good. Could come in clutch. However, I have to play devil's advocate. That's 30% or lower. Like, you know, the chances of that happening, especially for a veteran player, is very, very low. Like the raid you're playing has to be extremely hard if you are ever really going to pull this off effectively. So yeah, so let me go into the reasons why I think this is probably the best and most well-made unit that Blazing has ever had. Alright, so we know that he has a 70% chance to dodge an attack and 35% damage reduction. And on top of that, 20% chance of restoring 1 chakra when receiving an attack. So, you are almost untouchable. And if they do touch you, you only take 30% of said damage. And then you have a 20% chance on top of that to get a chakra. He's a 3 and 6 chakra unit, which helps a lot. His first jutsu does slip damage. Now, the immobilization is good, but that's more for like grunts. For bosses, it's going to be really hard to find a boss in the game, especially nowadays where they don't have immobilization resistance. But here's the thing, right? Slip damage is amazing, because no matter how much health the boss has, if you have slip damage, over time, it is going to take away a huge chunk of their health. Turn after turn after turn. And mind you, this is for 10 turns. 10 turns. So you're playing a waiting game when you have slip damage. Like, obviously, you're waiting for the opponent to take slip damage turn after turn after turn until they're weak enough so you can finish them off. His jutsu fits with his ability so well, because in that time that you're waiting, you are not only just dodging attacks, but if you do get hit, you're taking only 30% damage of that attack. And on top of that, you have a 20% chance each time to gain chakra back. So the chances of you doing this jutsu again is extremely high. Yeah, sure, Naruto gives chakra back when he does his ultimate jutsu, but it's only when he uses this ultimate jutsu. Sasuke, it doesn't matter what's going on. As long as you get hit, there's a 20% chance that you can get chakra back. So, in a sense, it's more reliable. So, because of slip damage, which is a waiting game tactic, and he has a bunch of abilities that help him to wait out his opponents, and bait opponents. And if you don't know what I mean by bait opponents, it's just simply when you put a character to like the side of the screen so the enemy attacks that character only, so you can save chakra or heal or do whatever you need to do, right? So that's one way it synergizes so well. Here's the second way. Let's go on to a secret technique, the Shidori. Alright, changes the element to wisdom. That's powerful. That is a powerful ability. So he does 64k whenever he uses this attack. He will always do 64k, period. Just because he changes the the element from whatever they are to wisdom. And if they're wisdom, obviously they'll stay there that way. So by changing their typing, that can save you in a lot of situations where maybe you're taking too much damage, so you change their typing, so now you're taking less damage. So that can come in real handy. And then the remove attack boost, again, it's not that reliable, but it can come in handy. Now here's where it gets cool. Alright, this is what I like. I like the latent skill. It does not do as much damage as his secret technique, but they do that on purpose. And I feel that, not a lot, but I feel a good amount of people were kind of disappointed in his latent skill compared to Naruto's. But I think that his latent skill is better than Naruto's, because instead of like giving yourself an attack boost, it gives everyone who attacks that enemy an attack boost. So not only do you attack everyone on screen, and I believe the base damage is 38k. Does it show the damages here? Let's see. No, it does not. Okay, but from playing with him, he does 38k to all enemies on screen when he uses his latent skill. Now, once that he uses the skill, let's say they're still alive. Well, then this effect comes into place. They take 30% more damage. Oh, sorry. Here we go. 30% more damage to their non-effective elemental affinities. So now every character that doesn't have a non-effective elemental affinity is going to do 30% more damage. So over time, you're actually going to be dishing out more damage as a whole than if you were just to do ultimate jutsu, next character, ultimate jutsu, next character, ultimate jutsu. Well, now you're doing latent skill, a great amount of damage, almost 40k, and now the next character most likely will be able to have this 30% damage increase affected to them. So now they're doing 30% more damage of what they're doing. And then the next ultimate does 30% more damage. So you're dishing out more damage through the long run of the mission. So I just feel that as a whole, he's dodging insane. If you've seen Shiny's video, you put third anniversary Obito behind him, 100% damage reduction, 100% dodge. It's absolute insanity. So, going back to what I was saying about the long run, if you're a new character, or excuse me, if you're a new player, and you want to know if you want to summon for Sasuke or Naruto, I have to play devil's advocate. They are not going to be amazing if you first, if you just have them when you first make an account, or if you're re-rolling. They're not going to be helping you that much. And even with the acquisition stones acquisition stone one that they give you, it's not enough to make them good enough, right? But if you're thinking about the long run, would you rather have Naruto or Sasuke? I say Sasuke 100%, because there's other characters in the game that heal. Alright? Just plain and simple. This Sasuke, okay, sure, he doesn't heal, but he provides way more personally in consistent survivability, always getting chakra back, being able to do slip damage, being able to have other characters deal more damage. And I've played with him, and I've pulled him. If you haven't seen my my summoning video, I pulled him, spoiler alert. But after using him, it just feels like every raid is just so easy. Mine is max, keep that in mind, but he's just an amazing unit. Probably the best unit in the game. I don't know, I guess you could say the best unit in the game, maxed duped. Not max duped, no, he's not. But max dupe, personally, I think he's the best unit in the game, but right now this is just 7 stars, okay? So that's why I think Sasuke is the best 7-star in the game, and then Final Valley Naruto for 4th anniversary is the second. Now that I'm here, I'm just going to hurry up and put Madara in the 5th spot, only for the fact that he's a Blazing Bash unit. He's meant for PvP. He's amazing in PvP. I've lost so many battles that I thought I would be fine against people who've had Madara in his 7-star version. He just deals so much damage. It is insane. But again, this is a PvE tier list. So that being said, I think it's okay and understood that I put him in last place. That does not mean he's a bad unit. It just means in terms of 7 stars for PvE, he's the worst. And now, these are the last two now. I don't have this Naruto, but I understand what he does. And I have them pulled up too. I have all of them pulled up here. That's the Madara. Here we go. Kakashi and Naruto. Naruto! Now, here's the thing. When the 7-star Naruto first came out, Kakashi was also able to turn into a 7-star at the same time. And everyone was like, oh my god, Naruto is the best unit, and he's so good, he's so broken. And to me, I said that Kakashi was better than the Naruto. And people were like, oh, you're capping, oh, that's bullshit, yada yada yada. But here's my reasoning to why I thought, and probably do still kind of think, that Kakashi is better than this Naruto. And it's for his latent skill. Now, his abilities are insane. And the fact that if you get his 7th, he becomes a 4-8 chakra unit, that's just absolutely incredible. But here's the thing. It's his latent skill that breaks, well, not breaks, I should say, but makes it so that I have ideologies that I think he's better than this Naruto. Because one, he changes the typing to skill and then does 21 times attack toward them. And don't forget the extra 40% to skill. Okay, he is dealing, I don't remember the exact number, but I know it's more than like 140k. If I'm wrong, I apologize, but it's really close to that number, 140k to a unit. All right. Right. So you're not only dealing a massive amount of damage, but you don't have to amp him up with units to give him attack boost. You don't have to waste time on that. It's only for 8 chakra, and many times it will one-shot the enemy. And if it doesn't one-shot, well, guess what? Now there's skill. You're a heart unit. If they attack you, well, guess what? You're gonna be pretty much tanking it. I don't remember who I heard. I think it was Jobito I heard. Shout out to Jobito, by the way. I mentioned him in this video, so I'm gonna shout him out, of course. I don't know if he'll ever see this or even get this far into the video, but if he does, thank you so much. But I think it was Jobito who said that you're pretty much never going to use his secret technique if you have him 7-star. And I sort of agree with him on that one. There's times where it's like, okay, I need to use it to get rid of a lot of the grunts on the final boss. But unless it's like the final boss and it's only one enemy you have to deal with, yeah, you want to go with the latent skill. But just overall, in terms of helping you actually complete the mission, this latent skill is a game changer. I can't tell you how many times I was thankful that I had this unit just for the latent skill alone and helping me beat really difficult levels. Or missions, rather, I should say. Now let's go on to this Naruto. Now, 50% chance of dodging an attack and 50% chance of reducing damage. Amazing. Not as high as Sasuke's, but it's still amazing. Nullifies immobilization. Amazing. Nullifies jutsu sealing. Amazing. Nullifies knockback. In PvP, I could see this helping, of course, but other than PvP, I don't really see it helping too much. And then nullifies damage reduction, which both these Narutos have the same last ability. And now let's go into his jutsus. Neutralizes element affinity based damage. Amazing. And does 5 times attack towards them. That's an oof. Because that's all it does. It ignores their typing, which is nice. but 5.5 times, and his attack stat is, where is it at? I don't come on this site that much, so it's still kind of new to me to look at. Stats. It says 1526. Missions. I'm choking. I don't know which one it is. Is it this one? Okay, it says base, and it says max. Okay, so this one I need to look at. Okay, so it does 3,000 damage. All right. So 3,000 times 5, 10, 15. Fuck this shit. Where's my calculator at? You know what? Fuck math. He does damage, but it's not that much. Let's just keep it at that. All right. Now let's go to the secret technique. All right. Ignore substitution for all enemies in range. Great. 12.5 times attack towards them. 70% chance of immobilization for 3 turns. Now I like that it hits everyone on the screen, or all enemies in range, I should say. But the 70% chance of immobilization for 3 turns is really iffy, because 1, it's an ultimate. 2, the most times if you're fighting like a lot of enemies on the screen, they're most likely grunts, right? So again, most likely this attack will just straight up kill them. Anyone that's left alive is most likely a boss, and if they're a boss, they most likely have immobilization resistance. You see what I mean? So I don't see how this could come in handy that much. Now, I know this Sasuke, the 4th anniversary Sasuke, he has immobilization, but it's for his first jutsu. But he has slit damage on top of that, and that's really the big kicker on dealing with bosses. That's slip damage. So you can see why I'm kind of iffy on this Naruto. Now, latent skill removes perfect dodge, great, and barrier, great. For 1 enemy in range, ignore substitution, great. Neutralizes element affinity based damage reduction with 20% times attack towards them, and gives you an attack boost for 150 for 1 turn before the attack when your health is 50 or less. Again, if you're a veteran player, the chances of this happening where you're gonna be in a situation where you need to use your latent skill and you have 50% health or less, it's not as probable. It's nowhere near as less probable as Sasuke's 30% with his latent skill, but you know, you're not really gonna expect it to happen. But if it does, that's insane. That's insanity. 150%, that's amazing. But again, you have to be 50% health or less, and you want to run healers on your team, or else you're gonna die. And we don't want that, do we? We do not want that. So, you know, and that's the character. So, you know, people say that he's an amazing unit, which he is. He's in a fantastic unit, but he doesn't heal. That's another thing. But neither does Kakashi, but I just wanted to mention that. They both don't heal. But even though Naruto's 3 and 6 chakra, he has all these great abilities, you know, ignoring substitution with his ultimate. His jutsu is really, it's meh. It's there, it's nice, it hits everyone on the, whoever's in the range of it, but it just does damage, really. And then his latent skill is really nice too, but it's single target, you know. He's a really good unit, but in my opinion, and I know this is supposed to be a non-biased tier list, but I'm really thinking of it of like, okay, who would I bring to be more successful into a raid, right? When I look at Kakashi, his abilities are amazing too, don't get me wrong, but that latent skill alone will make or break a game. This latent skill alone will do that. So that's why I'm going to put Kakashi 3rd and Naruto 4th. And that is my tier list for the 7 stars in Naruto Blazing. If you have any issue with my tier list and my explanations, maybe I missed something, please tell me in the comments. I'm not here to like yell at each other and be mad and having a debate for 10 hours, you know what I mean? But we all see things differently. If you think that my tier list is just wrong, explain to me why, and I'll gladly read it and say, okay, you got a point there, you got a point there. Okay, I see what you're talking about here, but I still think this character is above this character, stuff like that, you know what I mean? We can just talk about it nicely, and hopefully no bullshit arises. So yeah, that's my tier list. I hope you enjoyed the video. I've not made a video like this. I did feature on one of Nagato's tier list that he made a long time ago, but it was on a PvP unit for Kisame. But this is the first time where I'm the one actually making it and, you know, looking at the units and talking about them more in depth, you know what I mean? It's the first time I've ever made a video like this to begin with, so I know I stuttered. I think I stuttered. Just as in I wanted to say something and I meant something else a couple times in this video, but I hope I did alright. And most importantly, I hope you enjoyed this. So yeah, this is Renee, signing out. I'll catch you later. Take care.